So, backwards planning practice. I was going to give you another practice one, but we're running out of time, so I think I'll just talk you through it. You have the materials with you. So the next example is a Fulbright scholarship. So I have a printout for you with all of the requirements and the deadlines. Can someone tell me when the deadline is for the Fulbright scholarship? What's the deadline? The other paper, yeah. Do we have a deadline? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You can find one, or we can share papers. Does it have the deadline listed on there? No one's finding it. Maybe there is no deadline on the paper copy. Okay. Well, can someone turn on their phone and Google when the scholarship application is due? If we don't have it on the application, we can find out, right? I think it's coming up soon. The next thing we need to know is the steps required. So take a look at the rest of it while someone's Googling for the deadline. And let me know what are the requirements? What do they need? Do they need a personal statement? Do they need an essay? Do they just need a writing sample? What are they looking for? I believe they need an essay of some kind. You need to attach an essay to this one. Did anybody come up with a deadline yet? October 13th? Okay, all right, so this one just passed. You would have to look for the next one for next year. November. It looks like there's quite a few different ones, so it would depend on if you need the master's degree program or the doctoral program, so there may be a specific deadline depending on which one you're applying for. There's one in December? Okay. So the first thing you need to do is to decide how you need to break this down. If this is a personal statement for you, then you can look, like I already had personal statements written for other things. Maybe you already have something, so you don't need to go through the entire process of creating something. Maybe you can take one that you've already written and you can edit it. So you're just doing second draft and revisions. Or maybe you need to start from scratch and plan out that I need to write an introduction, I need to write the supporting paragraphs, I need to write the conclusion, so you can plan out accordingly. And then plan it backwards. Start from that deadline. Whichever deadline applies to you in your situation. If you're a master's student, if you're a doctoral student, if you're postdoctoral, then put the deadline at the end and then plot it backwards. And remember to put everything as much as you can at the beginning. So, we're skipping the activity. Tips and tricks. All right, so one thing you might want to do is to keep a log. Put the writing activity into a calendar, diary, book, or journal. I make my students do this. I always have a writing log for them so that they record. Did we do a 10-minute free write at the beginning of class? Then once we finish, then you write it in your writing log. Did you write last night for 20 minutes for our pre-writing activity? You have a first draft due on Tuesday. How many hours did you write for your homework? And I make them keep track of their log so that at the end of the semester, I can have them pull out those writing logs and say, look how much writing you did. Look how much writing this actually was. You really achieved something. A lot of times we forget as we go along and we do a little bit here and a little bit here. We look back and we still think, oh, I'm still such a bad writer, because all you remember is how stressed you were and how difficult it was. But you don't look back and say, like, wow, look how much time I spent and look how well I did and I achieved the goal. So if we write it down and we can look back and we can see all of those positive achievements that we made, and it helps us change our minds about, maybe I'm not such a bad writer. Hey, maybe I can do this. So that the next time you get ready to publish something, the next time you try to write something, you get a little bit more confident each time. If you have a little notebook or a little journal where you're writing down, you know, I did 20 minutes, I did 20 minutes, I did an hour and a half on this day, I did great. But it helps to keep track of it. And rewarding yourself. After you did something, buy yourself a cup of coffee, or a new color of nail polish, or some little thing, you know. One of my favorite things right now is, my daughter's only 2 years old, but she likes to scratch my back, like give me a little massage. So like that's a nice one. It's free, right? But I'm like, Clara, come give Mama a little back scratch. But it makes me so happy. It's such a nice little gesture for her. So any little thing will do it. You don't have to spend any money on yourself. You can just give yourself some nice little happy reward for your accomplishments. And make it fun. Make your writing time fun. Find good music that you like. Choose a quiet spot or an enjoyable location, something that makes you happy and feel relaxed, because again, you don't want to have all of this stress and pressure on yourself. Find a way to make it enjoyable. I have a friend who, she always has to have a candle burning. It's just one of the things that, it just makes her feel more peaceful. If she lights a candle and she has, maybe it has a nice scent, something like that, and it just helps her to be more calm and relaxed when she writes. For me, I have music. I have found for myself that I cannot write if there's English music playing. I cannot write in English if I'm hearing English. So I have a playlist that's, I think it's called like English or music with no words. And so this one helps me, is if I have music with no words, then I can write. If there's other words coming in my ear, then it comes out crazy on the computer. And create an idea book. Carry a small notebook or keep a memo on your phone. Make notes to yourself. But this is great. I love using Evernote. That's one that I really like. And I can clip things to Evernote from the web. I can take photos and save them to a notebook. But that's one that I really like, is Evernote, for stuff like that, for an electronic version. But I know lots of writers that just carry notebooks in their pocket. Remember to include reflection time. When you're done, when you finish writing, reflect on it. This is part of what I have in the writing log that I make for students, is I have how long did you write, what did you write, and then I give them a little, like 4 stars, and you can fill in 4 stars, because some days you sit down to write and it's painful. Your brain just isn't in the mood. You're like, everything is slow. You're just not in a good place to write. It's harder. So sometimes there's only 1 star or a half of a star. But other days you sit down and you didn't even think it was going to be a good day, and then you just write. You just have so much to say, and it just comes out so easy. So it's good to look back and have that little notation. So even if you write in your little notebook 3 stars, 1 star, it's good to look back and see how many good writing days you had. So it's important to reflect on it. Make a little note and say, today was really hard. I don't know, I was really tired, so it was difficult to write. Or, you know, today was a breeze. I was really prepared. This was my favorite section of the work, so everything came easy. It's good to be able to look back at that writing log and see the parts that were easy and the parts that were hard. It can help you learn more about your own writing process, so that the next time you sit down, you remember, like, oh, I always have trouble when I get to the methods section because it's so boring and I hate writing about methods. So plan around that so that the next time that you come back around and you know, okay, today's the day I need to do the methods section. Maybe I should go write somewhere else. I should go find a more enjoyable place to write, because I know this is the part that I always have trouble with. I know every time this is where I struggle. So I'm going to get a cup of coffee. I'm going to turn on some music on my headphones, and I'm just going to get this part done. But if you already know that about yourself, like I always struggle in this place, in this one part, you can figure that out because you've reflected on it over time. So you can already anticipate your own problems so that you can find a solution. And practice. Writing is a practice. Just like teaching is a practice. You have to do it. Write every day. And post it publicly. This is something easy we can do. You can make a Tumblr, write every single day. Make a blog, write every single day. Tweet. It's only 140 characters. Write a thought. Something. You can come up with ways to make yourself write every single day. Or don't post it publicly. If you're a more private person, then just get that journal, but write a little something every day. It will help. I know that when I was serving in the United States Peace Corps, I didn't have a lot of internet connectivity, and so most of my notes and most of my writing is in my journals. And then it would be very easy for me to post on my blog, because when I would get into the city and I could actually get to a computer, then everything was there. Everything was ready to go. I'd written so much in my journals that it was easy to blog. Now I'm connected every single day, and I have a hard time writing on my blog because I'm tweeting and I'm posting to Facebook and I'm posting to Instagram and I'm posting all these places, and now it's harder for me to blog because I'm not taking that time to write in a journal. So it really can depend on the way that you're writing, but it's still writing practice every day. Whether I'm writing it in my journal or whether I'm writing it on Instagram or Facebook, I'm still practicing every single day. And peer review. Use your peers to stay accountable. Set up meetings with a colleague or a counterpart and have them exchange drafts, something like this. A lot of times this helps me to make sure that I know I don't want to disappoint my colleague. I told them I was going to get them something, so it's helpful to me to have another person. Because for myself, I can put it off and I can put it off. Even if I make my own deadlines on the calendar, I can make excuses in my mind. But I think that's going to be it for me. Those are my writing tips and tricks. And I hope you found something helpful out of this. And I hope that you'll be able to take these blank calendars and these blank sheets, and you have your own writing goal set on it. So hopefully you can put those all together for your own practice. You can take your goal, you know your deadlines, and you know your own context. You have the calendar, you have the backwards planning sheet. So you can put all this information together for your own context and your own personality, your own writing style. What kind of writer are you? You can figure it all out, put all those pieces together for yourself. So I hope you're leaving the workshop today with all of those pieces, and you can put them together in your own way for your own personal tastes and preferences to help you get started. And then you'll be able to come to the next section for the academic writing workshops. You can come to the next section all ready to go. You'll have your personal writing goals ready, and you'll be ready to hear about, I think the next one is about personal statements. So if you have any personal statements or personal essays to write, you'll be halfway there, right? Because by the time you're done pre-writing, you're halfway done. Okay, I think that's all from me. If you have any questions, I'll be out in the lobby. You can join me. Ask me any questions you have. All right, thanks for coming today. I appreciate it.